Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thanks for joining me. I'm Katie and today I found a bargain, I think, and I wanted to share it with you. So I'm pretty sure there's quite a few all around the world, but just in case you don't know, we have a supermarket in the UK called Aldi, and I do believe it is a German supermarket, and they don't just sell food. They have a middle aisle which sells all sorts of random things, and I just so happened to find some art supplies. The Aldi brand goes under the name Script, and they have quite a few different items, and today we are looking at the watercolour pencils and the mixed media paper. So, the Script Premium Artist A4 Mixed Media Art Pad boasts high-quality spiral-bound cartridge paper for multi-purpose art, ideal for oils, watercolour, acrylics, pencils, pastels and more, light in texture and suitable for wet and dry techniques. Now, I must admit, I'm pretty sceptical when a pad of paper boasts that much, but I believe this cost me £1.99, so I can forgive it. There are 25 sheets in the pad and it is 220 GSM, so that's quite nice thick paper actually. It has a slightly rough texture, but it doesn't have an apparent tooth as such. I wouldn't say it was as smooth as a cartridge paper, but I wouldn't say it was as rough as a watercolour paper. It's quite nice and weighty to hold, and I think that's all I can tell you about it really on face value. The coloured pencils, on the other hand, I was quite surprised with. The coloured pencils cost me £2.99 and it is a pack of 12. They are watercolour pencils, they are hexagonal. You get the rainbow colours, all 7 of them, plus a brown, another green, a maroon colour, a pink and a black. As you saw me swatching them out, they're quite pigmented, they go down quite nicely. You do have to work them a little bit, but £2.99, I suppose really I don't mind putting a bit of hard work in. They dissolved quite nicely, although they felt quite buttery on the page. They didn't flow like perhaps a watercolour would, but they behaved like a watercolour pencil, so yeah, I'm quite impressed with them so far. So the proof is in the trying, I guess, and I thought I would do quite a fun design for today's video. As I mentioned, you don't get a full watercolour effect like you would with pans or tubes, but you do get a nice level of pigment, and I wanted to do something with nice pastel colours just to give these a fair chance really, so I went with a lovely rainbowy narwhal. Now, I always hold coloured pencils a little bit funnily when it comes to adding large areas of colour. I always hold it on the side, and that way it prevents any harsh lines that I don't want, and a relatively even coverage of, well, coloured pencil. Now, on their own, they were quite nice. They were quite nice and easy to layer, I guess, and blend. I mean, there's only so much you can do with them, but I was quite impressed with the colour payoff and just how nice they were to apply to the paper, and they did suit the paper quite nicely as well. The surface of that paper just adds enough texture to grip the lead, but without it being, well, over the top, I suppose. This isn't my main forte, so I guess I can only tell you what I think on face value here. When it came to applying the water on the actual painting, it did dissolve it quite nicely. Yes, there was some ghosting, but it's watercolour pencils and there are not very many where it completely vanishes away, so I kind of think if you're using watercolour pencils, it's going to look like you've used watercolour pencils, but I was quite impressed by how nicely they dissolved and how well the paper took a wash of water, bearing in mind it's not specifically watercolour paper. Now, I did notice there were other supplies at Aldi at the time, however it's usually for a limited amount of time only, so I just picked these two up for now just to try out. I'm sure they will be back down that middle aisle another time, but one experiment at a time, right? For the colours I'd used on the narwhal's body, I'd used multiple colours there, and they blended into each other quite nicely with that wash of water. There wasn't any streaking again, and yeah, I was quite happy with it, and it also left a nice surface for me to go over it again with the coloured pencil and just add some more details and tone in there. The wash of water didn't affect the texture of the paper, which I was quite pleased about, and again, even though this isn't specifically a watercolour paper, it was quite nice to work on. It didn't buckle, it didn't crinkle up too much, but I hadn't put any washi tape down and stretched it out like I would with watercolour paper. This is more of just a fun sketch for me. But yeah, I was impressed with the paper and its performance. I mean, I'm not saying it's Archie's or anything like that to work on, but it's quite nice for mixed medium. Obviously, I'm not trying it for any of the other materials they mentioned that would work on here, but yeah, I was pretty pleased with that paper. I think it would be really nice to use for sketching on the go, or perhaps again if you're a beginner and you just want a surface to draw on and sketch your ideas out. It's nice stuff. We also have another supermarket over here from Germany, and that is Lidl, and I've seen a few of those dotted around the world too. They also do have occasionally art supplies in, and again I think it's down the middle aisle and it's seasonal, but if I just so happen to spot them, would you like me to do a video on them? Let me know in the comments, and next time I'll have a little scout out and see if there's a video I can make out of it. I'd also like to know as well, have you guys tried any art supplies from either Lidl or Aldi? I'd really like to know what your thoughts were on them and whether they met your expectations or not. I thought it would be a really nice way to showcase all of the different colours by adding a big rainbow splash behind the narwhal. And again, I'm quite happy with the vibrancy. Now, I did add more pressure with the coloured pencils there, well, with the watercolour pencils there. And when it came to adding a wash of colour, it did go a little bit buttery, but again, it wasn't offensive. They were alright. They cost £2.99, and compared to other places where their materials cost the same price, these were okay. These were alright. If you spot them, they're okay. They're good to just play about with and get your ideas down on paper. And we are all done. I'm quite impressed with these products from Aldi. I wasn't really sure what to expect, to be honest, but having used them, I'm quite impressed. For the price, I'm really, really happy with the results. Anyway, my friends, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. A massive thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!